So in 1971, the Nazi Germans decided to once again attack the Allies and go for a pretty much break the world out into a World War III. They seem like they're going to be successful once again, but I want to see how much land they're going to take, and I don't know how much a war score they're going to accumulate.
Accumulate. I feel like I have trouble saying that. I don't know. Accumulate. Words are hard. Words are a hard thing. I don't know. Words are hard, so that's all I'm going to say. Anyways, we're at speed 3 here, and we're watching as the Germans continue to push out the French and the Spanish. I'm actually surprised that the Allies did such a good job so far. I mean, yeah, I know that most of France is occupied, most of Dutch territory is occupied, but they've kept the war score so low. That's like a concern, obviously, that I guess the Nazis should have, because I imagine a lot of that war score is so low because of all the fleets. A lot of the Italians, as well as the Germans themselves, have lost a vast number of ships because they've just been getting destroyed. I mean, obviously France and Spain and British, I mean, those are some naval powerhouses. And right now, the Germans and the Italians can't compete through the sea. They can only really compete through land, which I think makes kind of sense. I mean, this is World War III. I don't really know exactly how well the Germans, the actual, like, Nazi Germans, held up in the ocean when it came to World War II. I'd imagine that they did. Well, I know that they had their awesome U-boats. I don't know. But either way, we're seeing the Germans and the Italians kind of face this problem. Italians not so much, but the Germans definitely yes. Because if you look at them, yeah, the Germans, if you look at the territory, yeah, the Germans are huge, but how many coastal provinces do they really have? Really not that much. Almost the same as the Netherlands, which is kind of nothing. So, because the Netherlands are even more small, compacted coastal provinces. I mean, maybe not the exact same. Probably Germany has a little bit more, but it's still pretty close, I'd say. Either way, I'm just very shocked that this war score isn't a little bit higher. This is an Imperialist war, so, oh, there they go. There's 17 war score on their side. Interesting. France is also losing a pretty big war to the Chinese and Thailand back in Eastern Asia, which definitely is not helping their cause. There are, I believe that is some smaller nations in the subcontinent of India going at it. Spain's still trying, and the reinforcements are now coming up through Africa. It looks like they might have even, yep, they've finally pushed back this Italian regiment here. Ooh, here come the British. So when the British pieced out the Saudis, and keep in mind, now that the Iranians are vassalized by the British, they're going to help out a lot. And I have seen a few Irani troops. Yep, there they are. There's a nice like 45 stack here. But yeah, the British have already pretty much decimated the Italian Somaliland colony, where they're not going to really be able to do anything else. There's going to be a 75 stack here to just wipe out anything that they try to rise up. And in terms of Italian Egypt's, yeah, I mean, a lot of the British have, well, there's a big win there, but the problem is you've got British Nigeria, Iran, and, you know, the actual British themselves all here ready to fight. So this is going to free up all the French colonies to move across the Strait of Gibraltar, and we're seeing that right now. They're already doing that. So, like, the French are already, beforehand, I think a lot of the French troops, French regiments, as well as their colonies, were preoccupied with the Italians, sieging out and occupying a few provinces. Not anymore. And they've solidified their control over the Strait of Gibraltar, which means that we're going to see a lot of French troops kind of come up through Iberia. And they desperately need that. Now, I think it's still too late. I do believe it's still too late. The Italians are still bringing in more troops. Not so much for the British, though. I'm sorry, not so much for the Germans. The Germans, I think, are done building things for now. They did lose a little bit of war score. Negative 20 war score with France. So we've got some time. Now, one thing that's been, I think, alliance member that's been very disappointed for the Nazis is the USA. The USA has not been doing really anything at this point. They are at war with the British, but they haven't really been trying at all. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I don't know if it's because most of the American fleet is in the Pacific. That definitely might be a thing since they have more kind of provinces and colonies out there in the Pacific instead of in the Atlantic, so that could be a thing. It seems like America's trying their best to build up some ships, but obviously they're having a little bit of trouble there. They're okay in the Gulf of Mexico. They just have to find a way to get these one stacks into the Gulf of Mexico. They are not doing that much better, actually, over here either. I don't know. Is there a crossing? So can you cross? Yeah, you can cross the Panama Canal. There it is right there. So that is a thing. I was just wondering. Actually, are they running across right now? Yes, they are. So the USA is, in fact, using the Panama Canal. I'm just making sure that that was a thing. Well, either way, I'm not sure if the British just knocked out most of the American fleet early on. That seems about likely. How? Oh, because the British are stopping anyone from moving across. Dang. So that is one thing that we need to keep in mind, that if this alliance stays together, if France, Spain, the Netherlands, and the British all decide to continue to ally to each other, if they're allowed to by the Germans, their fleet is really going to save them. The thing is, though, I think the Germans are going to have them force them to annul some of those alliances. If the Germans can just force them to annul their alliance with the British, because the British are the most powerful right now. I mean, they're the second most powerful in Europe if you exclude Russia. So it's Germany, then the British, I'd say. If you include Russia, then I have no idea. I don't know where Russian strength really is at this point. I wouldn't be able to tell you at all, because the Russians have been continuing to accumulate more and more power. They've been eliminating some very, very small countries. There's still a few provinces that they have to destroy from the Soviet Union. Maybe they'll destroy the Uzbek or something like that. Ooh, who's taking out Turkey here? Who grabbed this? China. China's at war? I mean, I know that China's at war, but I mean, like, China's at war with... China's involved in this war, I see, because France, calls in Turkey their ally. I see. Ouch, that's going to actually hurt Turkey. I don't even know if Turkey was really making a big impact on this war. Maybe in Africa, maybe in the Middle East. Maybe they're going after Italian territory, even though I didn't see them. I never really saw them doing much. Oh, here's Italy trying again, but the reinforcements are going to come down. 50 stacks going to probably come down. Are they going to get there in time, though? Oh, they're not going to get there in time. Either way, this 28 stack that Italy controls is probably going to get wiped. Actually, they're going to Eastern... Oh, yeah, that's your province. They've just been taking a little bit longer than normal. How's Eastern Somaliland doing? They've rebuilt slightly. Problem is, here comes Iran here to crush them. That was so huge. I cannot believe the British vassalized Iran like that. Like, that was out of nowhere. Who would have thought something like that could happen? The Germans are now going into northern Iberian land, starting to occupy a province like Navarra. That's pretty big. And here come the Germans. Now, will the Germans get kicked out of Spain? Oh, no, they're going to just retreat. I think they're going to focus on full occupation of France, and that's probably very smart of them. Does Italy have any claims to these lands? No. They're allied to Romania still, though. Germany has no claims, technically, either. I mean, that doesn't matter. It's an imperialist war. They can take whatever they want. That's another thing to keep in mind. These imperialist casus belli, they're very dominant. You don't need that much war score to take a lot of provinces. And if you do have a lot of provinces, a lot of war score, you can take a lot of provinces, like we saw. They're at 21 war scores, still not a huge number. I'd imagine that there's got to be a lot of war exhaustion. Okay, so France is going to be fully occupied very soon, which is going to free up the German AI, I believe, to be able to kind of do whatever they want. There's already a 68 stack here. I like I said from the very beginning, I really think they need to get rid of the Dutch, and separate piece them. I think that they need to just, boom, separate piece them, get them out of this thing. Obviously, there's a big war going on, so we're seeing the mod kind of what's that called? Lag behind a little bit. Now, we've seen the British have success invading Germany with their fleet. The problem is that the British, I think, have a lot of their fleet tied down in North America to protect from the USA. The Nazis calling in America was huge, because I think that's why we're not seeing a lot of these troops of the British control cross the English Channel or go up through the North Sea. So that's kind of things to kind of keep in mind. Also, next time Germany really needs to call in Scandinavia. At least they could have really used their help. Although they don't have that many ships, but still another 50, that wouldn't have helped. France and Spain, the Netherlands and Britain, they all have just massive, a massive fleet. So Scandinavia wouldn't have helped that much, but maybe with time, with more development in Scandinavia, it might help a little bit. Who knows? Here comes Spain. Here comes actually a lot of reinforcements coming up through Iberia. We'll see if the Italians decide to take them on. And what else do we see? We see Cape Colony up this way. This was a pretty equal war, though. I would say this is a pretty somewhat evenly, I would say somewhat even side. I don't really, it's hard to say. Like, if the Germans declared war on the British, this would not be going as well for them. They would have definitely lost a lot here. Iraq's not allied to anybody? No, so they'll probably be eliminated at some point. Saudis are not allied to the British anymore. And the Chinese war is still occurring. Now, notice that the Chinese occupied a lot of these provinces in French territory themselves, and then everything else was given to Thailand. Do they have claims to these provinces? No, but they probably wanted it. We can actually check on their desires, which I probably need to do a lot more. So China desires pretty much everything around them. They don't care at all. That is something that would be very fun to check in on. So now we can see exactly, you know, what countries desire what. Obviously, Russia wants the Japanese out of kind of Korean territory, even though Korea is down here. This is Japanese Korea. They want to continue to attack the Middle East, destroy the Soviet Union completely. I figured that Russia was going to try to attack the Ukraine at some point. Or Ukraine. I know that I shouldn't be putting the in front of Ukraine, but sometimes I do. I don't know why. Actually, I do want to check the German plans. So Germany wants to take out all of France, all of the Netherlands. Seems about right. And they want to attack the Balkan states. Is this Russian lands? Yes, it is. Germany's even expressing interest in attacking Russia. That's kind of surprising. What about the British? The British just really want to stay along kind of South Asia. They want to stay within that territory. France probably wants just their stuff back. Italy wants to attack Africa, go after Greece. Man, this is awesome. I didn't realize this map mode is really useful for AI-only battles. I need to look at this way more. This is super cool to see what the AI desires. That way, I mean, it's safe to say where they're probably going to attack to. Oh my gosh. Why did this take me so long to do the math in my head to realize this is going to be a very key insight to see what the AI is thinking at all times. Because that's pretty much predicting, like, they probably will not be going to war. Like, if we're looking at Germany here and they don't really show any red in Scandinavia, it's safe to say that Germany's not going to be attacking Scandinavia or Italy anytime soon. And I guess that's pretty obvious, because if we were to look at the alliances, like, we would have been able to tell, like, yeah, obviously, Drew, these are their allies, that's why. But still, it's kind of cool. Like Russia, too. Like, Russia's not expressing interest in attacking Turkey, so more than likely they won't be attacking Turkey. Jeez. There you go. That's very cool. Okay, anyways. How's the war score doing now? They're still at 20. Still not that good. I'm wondering what happens with China when and if China pieces out. What's going to happen there? Hungary allied to Greece, Romania, Ukraine. That would be kind of a big war in itself. If Germany, I wouldn't suggest that Germany does this alone, but I bet you anything the AI will do this alone. If Germany were to go after Hungary, they'll fight by themselves. And it will be a pretty close war, too, if they wanted to attack the Balkans. But they're going to have to wait. Now, the longer this war stays for, I guess, the longer... Oh, my gosh, Hungary just got... Wait, did the Germans peace out with somebody? Hungary's really angry at Nazi Germany. Germany... Did the Nazis peace out with the Netherlands? No, they didn't peace out with anybody. Why are they back at 92 wars? 92 aggressive expansion with Hungary? It wasn't like this before in the last video. I have no idea. Either way, there's going to be a coalition brewing out here in Eastern Europe, in kind of the Balkan region. They've got to watch that. Even Turkey might end up joining, which, yeah, that's a pretty big force to face. They're getting some aggressive expansion with Spain as well. So Germany needs to watch it. They definitely need to watch it, because they're going to take a lot. I can imagine, it looks like they're going to try to take a lot here. Even with 22 war score, they could still take quite a bit. Yeah, they can easily still take quite a bit from this. 1975, so about, 4 years after World War III occurred. A lot of war exhaustion is probably accumulating with both parties here. So that is going to, I think, dictate... I'm sure the war is going to end very soon. Looks like the Germans are now starting to invade Iberia, or maybe not. Maybe Iberia's not on their list. Yeah, it seems like they go into Navarra and then that's it. They're still. I'm still shocked at all the forces that the French and the the Iberians, not the Iberians, I guess just Spain, are continuing to build. Italian Somaliland still looking the same, still not doing that well. And Italian Egypt's there. I don't think Italy has any forces here anymore. They have no regiments here. So I think they're done. Italian Egypt and Somaliland could fall definitely, but I don't think Italy really cares at this point. Something else to keep in mind is, you know, Italy might get separate peace here, which actually might be a good thing for the Germans, actually, if you think about it. How are we looking now? 23 war score. I mean, if they were to get at least like 25, I'd say this would be a pretty big deal. Boom, the Italians are going to come in there, reinforce. Oh, wait a second. Oh, that's Cape Colony. So I'm not sure. That's probably not the first battle that the Germans have faced the British in. There's probably been a few more. There's no transport ships in this fleet, so something to keep in mind. I kind of wanted to just check in on that. And the Dutch have only Friesland that is unoccupied. I think I pronounced that right. I don't know. Everyone's probably laughing at me right now. I know this. I know you guys too well by now. Everyone's laughing at my poor pronunciation. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't just go after this last province here. Yeah, the Netherlands are not doing good. Negative 38 war score. See, the German AI is in a very interesting situation. I think no matter what, they will get a coalition against them. I think, unless they don't decide to take that much. But what's the point? If they don't take that much, then what are you gonna how are you going to? I mean, this whole thing would have been for nothing, pretty much. So I don't know. Oh, what's this here? Latvia. Latvia's involved in the war? No. What is Latvia doing over here? Maybe they're just passing by? Defender. Latvia and Germany. That doesn't make any... Oh, Latvia is... Yes, they're being controlled. So, there you go. Another very cool mechanic. Again, we're seeing Latvia give... So, clearly, Latvia is... I guess they must have somewhat of good... Yeah, Germans have a very good opinion of Latvia. Not so much the other way around, but yeah, I'm sure Latvia doesn't want to be destroyed. As well as, remember, when we checked in on their ambitions, hey, what happened to a lot of this red went away. Not sure why, but yeah, Germany is not interested in attacking Latvia anymore, which is kind of interesting. Probably a pretty smart move on the scope of things. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop a little bit early. There's a lot of lag going on, so we'll pick it back up when the war is over. And because it looks like the war is about to be over very soon. So we're going to find out in the next video what Germany decides to do. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.